This is the Runechild Saga, Part 1, Slave of Darkness, written by Paul Wilson and narrated by Robert Sebastian Cooper. Chapter 1. Darkfeather put her wide wings and stiffened her muscles. She had never climbed as high in the cloud-spotted sky as she had done tonight, way up where the expansion of the perch posts below merged into one green expanse. The desire to prolong exposure to these unknown reaches fought against the instinct to return to a more comfortable altitude, sending a tangy mix of excitement and fear through her being. However, Darkfeather was brighter than other owls. She'd been blessed with a level of awareness greater than the simple animalistic nature of her fellows, and she was able to calm her thrashing heart. "Flying up here is just like flying down there," she told herself. "Maybe even better." The air was clear of vegetative clutter. She'd never known such freedom of movement. She could fly faster than ever she could amongst the green. At once, the stiffness in her spine dispersed and the panic threatening to spoil her composure melted away. She actually began to enjoy this new perspective. The bird left their ebony feathers to their subtle twitching, moulding their air into shapes that kept her aloft. Beneath the tawny owl's gliding form, the green sped away in every direction, a dizzying conglomerate reaching for horizons beyond the bird's augmented comprehension. The owl looked into the black sky and saw silver, still a good wingspan away from nesting. It would be a while yet before gold awoke and took flight. Ever watchful, Darkfeather noticed a line of grey spikes far away, where the cold sky came from. The owl had never seen mountains before, had always believed perch posts were the tallest things in the world, but from this elevation she could tell that even so far away those jagged points dwarfed the mightiest of tree. The revelation disturbed her somewhat, and in defence she dropped her gaze and ruffled the feathers around her eyes. There would be no penetrating the matrix of leaf and wood suspended over the distant ground from this height. Her left wing dipped to the ground, the other pointing up towards silver, and the not sky below began to spin. Drawing nearer with each full circle, the owl descended, twirling gracefully into a winding cleft that separated the green into two definitive pieces. The bird of prey smiled as greatly as her hooked beak would allow, and with further tweaking of her feathered body, she continued to spiral down, 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 right into the centre of the gap in the green. Darkfeather liked this part of the green, despite the lack of available sky and the abundance of non-sky. The wet fall was refreshing as long as she did not get too close, and the round wet was surrounded by perch posts. It was a great place to hunt tasty small furs. However, this early in the year, the finest cuisine was served at the top of the wet fall down the crack. Big furs were always in abundance along the edge of the long wet. With feathers bristling and eager talons clenching at the thought of food, Darkfeather swooped up and banked sharply to the right, heading into the space from where the wet fall hatched. Throughout her soundless flight, Darkfeather remembered that this black flight had nothing to do with the cessation of her hunger. Reluctantly, the urge to obey her more basic instincts and drop below the rustle of gentle movement below went ignored. Darkfeather's journey along the meandering, long wet went on for many wing beats, more than she was accustomed to. She was not happy with this prolonged exertion, but it gave her mind to consider why she had allowed herself to be here. Oh yes, unwinged. The bird's tiny heart registered something close to fondness at the name's arrival in her mind. Excepting other owls, Unwinged was the only other creature to fluently demonstrate the owl's hooting language. A remarkable feat indeed for one without a beak, although thanks to Darkfeather's disdain for continuous vocalization, their conversations were usually one-sided, full of one
Sample complete. Ready to continue?